with us Dr. Malkhan Singh Gurjar. He is a scientist working in our division, and he will give you the whole genome aspect, how different platform is there, how you can choose your platform, and talking about whole genome sequence of the fungi. So I will not take much time between you and your speaker. So I request Dr. Malkhan to give a presentation on the whole genome sequencing on fungi.
इसको मैं चेंज करने का होगा कहाँ पे पॉइंटर तो मैं चलो ये शॉर्ट में होगी वाली करो स्टार्ट. And what are the strategies used for the whole genome sequencing, and what are the applications of whole genome sequencing. So what is genome? Genome is the complete genetic material present in the cell. It is called as a genome, or it will be different from haploid and diploid of the organism. When you see the first sequencing started by Frederick Sanger, the knowledge of sequence could contribute much our understanding living matter. The whole genome sequence will provide you whole complete sequence of the genes in the present in the cell that will be useful. That will be useful for characterization of the pathogens and all the many aspects you can understand on these whole genome sequencing. So what are the importance of the whole genome sequencing? You see here the first is whole genome sequence provide the coding and non-coding sequence of the in the genome, and after that you can find out the pathways, what are the pathways are involved in the genome, and thereafter you can find out the evolutionary relationship, how the organism evolved. For example, 10 to 30 years back some organism evolved, but later on it was occurred as epidemic form. So we can compare whole genome whether the strain is same or it is different. So we can check the evolutionary relationship. Even though you can find out the diagnostic purpose, some of the diagnostic marker from based on whole genome sequencing, because in fungus there are many markers, but some are not specific. So we can identify the diagnostic marker based on the whole genome sequence. And further in the genome you can identify what are the changes occurred in the genome. For example, mutations, inserts, deletions, and SNPs. Most importantly, SNPs, single nucleotide variation in the each strain or isolate, and copy number variation, other and structural variants. So this is the importance of, after that importance, then you can, what are the method platforms used for whole genome sequencing. First is started by Sanger sequencing. It is very old, and the sequencing is very simple. It is actually here you see that it is a diadoxy chain termination method was used, and the DNA fragment was terminated to different points, and based on size of that DNA, it will be identified, or in the picture you can see here, a diagram you can see here, ATGC will be observed. So that is called as a Sanger sequencing. Next, please. Later on the second generation sequencing platform has come. Then you see first is ROS, ROS 4-5FLX, but it is a new chemistry was used here, sequencing by synthesis. It is a non-radio labeled and fluorescent labeling sequencing. Next, please. Then after the solid platform has come. It is also for used by it is different chemistry you can see here, sequencing by ligation, and it is marketed by Applied Biosystem, but in this case involves sequencing allele probes in template and their subsequent ligation. Next, please. Coming to most recently, this Illumina platform has come. There are so many platforms has come in the Illumina platform. Based on read insert size on library size, the different platform has come up. Then you see here, it is the same chemistry, sequencing by synthesis are used, and they produced large volume data of the genome. You can, for example, insert size is 150 base pair. So 10 million reads, 5 million reads, or 30 million reads you can generate through the Illumina platforms. Here is a chemistry. Important thing is library preparation is, it is mainly for short read sequencing and paired end library. Paired end means the sequencing will start the both the end, both the side of the sequence. So different fragment was sequenced by the Illumina platform. When we compare these three platforms, what are the differences in the sequencing platforms? You see here, this ROS1, this pyro sequencing was used, then HiSeq, this Illumina platform, and solid. So here is the three different types of chemistry were used, but in this case you see here, the accuracy is 99.98 and 99.4% raw data, but the time is more important here. Illumina is required 3 to 10 days, but in solid is 7 to 14 days, single end, paired end read. But in solid there is errors of the sequencing, that's why Illumina giving better results of the sequencing. So mostly nowadays the Illumina sequencing were used, of course for whole genome sequencing and transcriptome data. So as I earlier discussed that what are the libraries are used in NGS sequencing. First is long read. You see here long read. The sequencing is the whole big fragment like that. For example, you want to sequence 10 KB read or 5 KB reads, so better to go for long read sequencing. If you want to that sequence short reads, and you can sequence single end reads also and paired end read also. So this will give the you can say short read sequencing of the any fungal pathogen. Next is this met pair read. Actually the met pair read is required where the DNA you can say quantity or high molecular weight is not available, then we can go for met pair sequencing. And it is you can say it is a different chemistry are used. Fragment was originally separated into 5 to 20 KB actually sequencing. So, but it is not that much successful. It will not give that much whole genome sequence of the any fungal pathogen. Okay. So what is the workflow of genome sequencing? You see here, first we want to prepare the sample actually. Sample means DNA. DNA, we need high molecular weight DNA of the any fungal organism. It should be free from the any other pathogen, dust or any organism. Then after preparation of sample, you can go for library preparation. As I discussed, there are so many libraries you can make, but based on choice, you can go for that library preparation. For example, Illumina short reads and PacBio is, I will discuss later on, the PacBio is long reads. So similarly, DNA will be cut in different size, and size selection also you need 150 base pair, 100 base pair you need, and target and indexing. Then sequence generation. Here you use which platform you want to sequence actually, Illumina or PacBio or any iTorrent, many platforms are there. Which priority you want to do. Then further initial data processing. Here is initial data means there is so many biometric tools are used actually. After coming sequence, it is long, for example 30 or 40 MB read size come, then go for analysis of the genome actually. So there are so many pipelines are used in this whole genome sequencing. Again there is whether you want to go de novo sequence assembly or reference based genome assembly. Further, as I earlier told that further you can identify the mutations, what are the changes in the different isolates, or you can compare the NCP database which are the already existing in the database. So similarly you see here, first we take this, we took the large DNA molecules and fragmented into different sizes, then sequenced. Understand? Then you see assembly. Assembly means the overlapping sequence should be deleted actually. Some are overlapping sequence here you see, these should be you can say while making assembly, you remove those sequences in the genome sequence. So what are the priorities should be taken for the genome sequencing? You can see here, because when go for the sequencing, the sequence always not a complete sequence actually. Sometimes there is errors of the while sequencing of the Illumina or PacBio. So better to do use different platforms for a sequence of single organism. For example, for short reads you want to choose Illumina platform, or long reads, you can choose PacBio platform. So both will give long reads and short reads of the sequence. After that, you can merge the whole sequence in the single contig or multiple contigs. You can check whether there is any repetitive sequence is there. You can remove those sequences. And coverage is actually how much unique genes are present in the single contig, you can say. So coverage should be very much important for sequencing. So for minimum 30x coverage is required for Illumina sequencing, or 50 to 100x coverage is better, even more better in Illumina sequencing. But in PacBio there is less coverage, and 20 or 30 also good for sequencing. Again, after sequencing, you remove the quality data filtration and trimming all the repetitive sequences in the genome and make a assembly finally. As I earlier told that multiple sequencing technology are used to make a complete genome sequence. So this is the PacBio. Recently it has come. There are two platforms, PacBio RS2 and PacBio SQL. So it will give only long reads. For example, you say long read sequencing 5 to 10 KB sequencing single run actually. So there is no chance of any small reads or duplication. So it is better to, it is based on single molecule real time sequencing based on this chemistry. It is marketed by PacBio Biosciences. And price wise, I think it is also cheaper, not that much costly for long reads. And recently the nanopore sequencing also has come. It will also useful for long read sequencing. You can say here this equipment is there, small equipment is there, and just pass the DNA in this device, and the whole sequence will come out like in computer, actually like that. So, but this nanopore sequence also we can analyze so many things in here. You see the complex structural variants or repeated regions can be removed from the whole genome, or simply the de novo genome sequence assembly or improve the existing reference genomes. That means it will give the sequence entire microbes in single reads in a real time actually. So basically it is useful for long read sequencing of the pathogens. There are different types of whole genome sequencing, small, you can say large whole genome sequencing more than 5 MB, million bases. Then small genome sequencing less than 5, like in virus, bacteria, there are small genomes, very small genomes. And de novo sequencing, if de novo sequencing means if there is no reference sequence available, that is called de novo sequence. If there is any reference is available, it is called a reference genome sequence. So what is assembly? Assembly means the sequence assembly refers to aligning and merging fragment to longer linear sequence in order to construct original sequence. Means you have so many sequences are there, reads are there, you can merge it properly while remove the all duplication and repetitive sequence in the genome. Then you can make the complete genome sequence. So two types of, as I discussed, that two types of assembly, the reference genome assembly and de novo. Mostly in fungal pathogens, very few pathogens have been fully, you can say, reference genome. For example, in basidiomyces fungus, the Astilogomedis is a model fungus actually. The whole genome is completely characterized, including chromosome level assembly. It is only de novo, it will not give the chromosome level assembly, but it only give the sequence only. But if reference is available, you can go for the chromosome level assembly where the genes are situated there. So you find there. Coming to after assembly, in assembly there are so many platforms we used. Thereafter genome annotation. In annotation also we used different types of platforms. You can see here Augustus is software actually. So here you can find different fungus, for example, starting from Saccharomyces. First Saccharomyces complete genome is there. So we compare our genome to this Astilogomedis genome actually. Why? Because the genome is completely characterized. That's why we compared the whole genome to Astilogomedis. So we can find out what are the genes which are actually related to pathways actually, different pathways, which functions are we can identify from them. So structural annotation we can also find out then function annotation also. Function annotation we can find through BLASTX program actually. So after this basic concept of whole genome sequencing, I will discuss that whole genome sequencing kernel of wheat. It is a quarantine disease actually. It is confined mainly in northwestern plain zone of India. It is a basidiomycetes fungus, and you can say it is a sporadic disease actually. Sometimes it is not coming, sometimes it is coming actually. So it is a grain disease. You see here, burnt, small gunt in partial burnt disease. The teliospores are surviving the soil, and the disease is main source of inoculum is the teliospore. Then further we isolate the fungus. After isolation of fungus, this workflow we used for whole genome sequencing. First is paired end. Paired end means Illumina sequencing, and long reads packed by RS2 we used. So both the sequence we got it, then after go for the quality and filtration of data, then high quality reads we got. After high quality reads, we made the assembly of the genome. Then further gene prediction, annotation and functional annotation we did on the in the genome actually. So you check here, see the genome size is 33.7 MB in using both the platforms. Coverage also you can see here 214x coverage and PacBio 23x, and GC content also 55%. Or gene density scaffold, here is scaffold is actually high actually, because the assembly is not that much correct actually. If chromosome level you want to do assembly, means if you have 10 chromosomes, the scaffold should be 10 actually, then your assembly will be correct. But it is a de novo because there is no reference is available, so we did completely how many scaffolds in the Talisea indica. The genome, if you how to see the genome actually, if you see the site of NCBI, go select the options genome, and you find out any which fungus you want, you can click it and you see the genomes actually, size of genome and how many genomes are there in each organism actually. You see what are even though genome size also vary in many fungus, the genome size also vary. Why? Because of different strains, but in this case actually the pathogen is different, unique pathogenic mechanism actually, because the haploid population will fuse and then cause the disease actually. So here we took the fungus of monoteliosporic culture. It is actually 2N you can say, diploid you can say, but if you sequence the haploid, the sequence will be different actually. So we go for that. Further we want to sequence the monosporial lines, means haploid sequence. So better to understand how the disease is causing two mating type sporidia actually causing the disease actually, basic mechanism. Further gene prediction based on this Astelogomedis fungus, we find out that you see a number of genes in the genome 9977, average gene length, maximum gene length or minimum gene length were observed in the genome actually. Why we did it? Because we have no any such information there, so we want to compare the genome actually, where to get some clue which are genes actually involved in the virulence or any pathways. So that's why we are doing this gene prediction annotation. Why we are doing? We find out some genes which are actually different, having different functions. That's why we are doing annotation through BLAST actually we did. So what we did here, all smut fungus we took in the genomes. For example, Anthracite flocculosa, it is a smut fungus. So maximum blast hits is coming in the smut fungus. It means your genome is correct. If your genome is coming to nearby species or in same group of basidiomycetes, that means your genome is correctly you can say sequenced. Further, in through BLAST2GO Pro gene ontology, we identified that biological, cellular and molecular functions were identified. How many genes are involved in these three categories actually in the Talisea indica. So Further later on we identified that 154 pathways are involved actually, metabolism pathways, cellular metabolism, different type pathways were identified in the genome sequence. Further, SSRs. SSR, as simple sequence repeats, also playing major role in the population analysis actually. So what we did here, through using MISA software, we identified the simple sequence repeats actually. Here you see 1 to 6 base pair SSRs, mono, for example, maximum are trinucleotide SSRs here. The trinucleotide is maximum in the genome. So further what we did here, it's not visible actually, that we identified the 40 predominant SSR markers, and we have checked these SSR in our population of this Tillecia indica. What we found that, you see here, SSRs around maximum 6 alleles were found in the population actually. It means that the pathogen having different alleles. It means you got, for example, 6 groups is there. 6 groups means the population having 6 categories actually. Those having different type of virulence actually. Understand my point? SSRs is alleles actually, which are actually govern the virulence, or you can categorize the population actually. This can be used in population genetics analysis of fungus. How it is evolving actually, the fungus. Why this virulence is changing every time. Further, transmosome element. Transmosome elements actually, it is causing variation in the genome actually. There are, you can say, nucleic sequences, homology proteins, genetic changes, contribution to evolution actually. It has also having evolution of the pathogen. Different strains are evolved actually. So there are different categories are there in the already in database, and database is transposon PSI. So here you can find out what are the transposon elements are present in your genome, which are not stable actually. These are unstable, you can say. Further, orthology we have done that we compared our genome to different basidiomyces fungus genome. Here you see Tillecia indica with their Astrologomedis, as you couldn't see much, and Tillecia caries or Tillecia hordii, and different fungus we have took. So here interestingly you see here the orthologs are genes are which are common actually, all the in the genome actually. So here you see 3751 proteins were orthologs, and whereas 126 proteins are unique in the Tillecia indica genome. Means this proteins having these are role in the evolution of pathogen. These are, you can say, conserved in the Tillecia species. It's not a burnt fungus, you can say. So it is, these are the conserved in the genome actually. It is done through Ortho1, there is software is there, so through we can identify. Further, the carbohydrate active enzymes. These are enzymes major role in the cell wall, crucial factor pathogen invasion also. So the growth efficiency and aggregation of phytopathogens often assert the K-zymes actually. So K-zymes also having role in the virulence actually. That's why we identified the K-zymes also. So here are different classes of K-zymes we identified, like glycosyl hydrolysis, and then glycotransferases and carbohydrate esterase, then carbon binding modules, then axillary activities, then polysaccharide lyase. So come to this work actually. After finishing that genome, so based on genome we identify some of the virulence related genes based on the genome sequence, based on secretome analysis and PHI database. So one of our students has done this work, Mr. Jagmohan. Actually these genes were took for implanta expression analysis. What we did here, different time points, we inoculate the first we inoculate the pathogen, and after that we isolate the RNA and go for the cDNA synthesis, then go for real time PCR. This is the methodology. Then result you see here. TI57 is related suppose to virulence. It is a hypothetical protein, and actually it's not visible actually. TI234 related to translation. So these genes are supported related to infection of pathogen or established after 3 days after inoculation. Genes expressed 10 days post inoculation or 15-day post inoculation supposed to be lead to local systemic infection and sporulation of the pathogen. Means actually we proved that these genes may have a role in the virulence of the pathogen actually. Further we need to go for functional validation actually. There is different mechanisms there for functional validation of the genes actually where causing disease or not. Further what we did, because our genome Talisea indica is complicated genome, pathogen also complicated, that what we did here, it's 7 genomes already present in the database actually. So we compared the whole genome of 7 genomes. You see here the SNPs, the very high number of SNPs were detected in the genome, you see here. Similarly, heterozygous variant and homozygous variant. Homozygous variant are more or less stable, but these are the variants actually. These are not stable in the genome. That means that's why the genome is not completely sequenced. Further, how much duplication is there in the genome actually. So this much duplication in present in the genome, and how many transmosal elements in the present all 7 genomes. It means the genome is not stable, or you can say sequencing is not done properly. So we need to resequence. How to complete the sequence, the genome actually. So here I concluded that high number of SNPs or inserted deletions were found in the genome, and heterozygous variant was higher due to high recombination Talisea indica. What is called recombination? Actually, I am giving a hypothesis that if 2 mating types are fusing every time, the recombination has happened. So that's why if sample are taking, the strain will be different or genome size will be different, mating type. That's why maybe the reason behind that the sequence will be different. And high number of segment duplication and transmit elements were identified. In conclusion, that the genome is variable due to duplication and retrotranspositions. Understand it? That's why we are doing the sequencing. Coming to that functional part, so in whole genome we have selected one of the gene is TIHOG1 gene, which actually it is earlier reported that it has a role in the stress and virulence also. So what we did here, we characterized this TIHOG1 gene, our genome Talisea indica. First we designed the primers for TIHOG1 gene, then further cloned the gene actually in the presence of stress also, both the things, and subcloned in vector, cloning vector, and sequenced. After cloning, we have sequenced, and sequence were compared with TIHOG protein actually. So after this phylogeny, you see here TIHOG protein exhibit high amino acid similar to homologous proteins of Talisea caries, Astroglomedis, and Puccinia. It means it is correct. It is coming in the same group. HOG1, it has role in the stress. Further, it is complement assay. Actually, typically it is functional. So what we did, we knock out the gene actually through this assay. So after knockout, what are the changes in the morphology of the fungus actually? So if you see here, TIHOG1 was the restored the salinity. Actually here we use different type of salts actually, sodium chloride, potassium chloride, calcium chloride, like that. So different salt concerning presence, we have checked the growth of the Talisea indica. So the mutant, this mutant showed that TIHOG1 was restored salinity stressed up to 1 molar sodium chloride, 1 molar potassium chloride, and 0.25 cesium chloride and magnesium chloride and calcium chloride, like that. So on osmosis stress also, we took this 1 molar sorbitol and 1 molar sucrose. So that's why it has role in the stress. Further also we can identify the SNPs. SNPs, nowadays SNPs have major role in the change in the evolution. So we checked our sequences SNPs based on whole genome, And we compared the large number of SNPs were found out in this genome. These are the publications which come out this whole genome sequence, telecyntic and 3 biotech, the response of pathogenic genes, then functional map kinase genes, and development of PCR diagnostic assay. So we have these papers are published. Future aspects, we can identify RAVR interactions, diagnostics, and SNPs. Whatever you want to do biological question, you can address in the whole genome sequence. So that's the conclusion of the whole genome sequence. Thank you one and all. So
Last moment presentation when you agreed our invitation and presented this talk. So I'm very thankful to Mr.
okay, thank
to
you.
accept my invitation. We'll want to give a folder to Balkan.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam.
If you have some question, you can text
हाँ.
me, mail me. I'll just forward to him. And